Making your own sounds. That's what we're going to talk about today. And yeah, hopefully this helps. And maybe it's something you needed to hear, but I don't know. But let's get right into it. So making your own sounds. I'm going to tell you what has happened to me over the years, and maybe you can relate. Maybe this will open your eyes to things. So when I started making music 10 years ago, like on the computer, I played guitar when I was way younger and stuff like that. 10 years ago, I didn't start producing music till I was like 19, 20 years old. Got way into it at like 25. Back then, you kind of had to make your own sound. If you didn't, no one really wanted to mess with you. They're like, oh, you don't make your own sounds. And it was kind of this thing, like, if you use samples, it was kind of seen as a bad thing. I know nowadays is if you use samples, it's not, nobody cares. Like, they just want you to make music. And a lot of people just want to sell their products, like me. And you could buy a cool sample pack called the Cobra Strike pack on my Gumroad. Link is down in the description below for $10. But anyways, yeah, people want to do that too. They want to sell sample packs and people use them. I feel like the art of making their own sounds, like people's own sounds, is kind of lost. I just want to tell you how much it has helped me over the years learning a bunch of techniques. I don't know every technical term. I can't really explain to you why an oscillator getting fed through a envelope into a distortion into a phase or whatever. I can't tell you how that works, but I can sit there and design some cool sounds. Like, I'm not very technical, but if I just have the controller or the program, I can make something pretty cool. I think that has helped me with my mixing a lot. The last 6 months, 6 months ago, this is wild, but the last 6 months ago, I was like, I'm done buying samples, because I used to just get samples and put a bunch of effects because I got lazy, I guess. I wasn't really lazy. I was just like trying to make music faster, and I really wasn't enjoying myself. I was not enjoying the process at all. I was just like, oh, let's find a bass stab and then put effects on it, bam, done. Hurry up. I would make a song a day, and it was kind of sucked. It wasn't fun. And now that I'm making my own sounds, my own drums, my own impacts, all that stuff, I'm having a lot of fun with it. And it's helping me tremendously on mixing sounds just together. And then that helps me mix my actual tracks. I have noticed that my music has got way better in the last 6 months, because what I've learned from just making sounds, it's unbelievable. If you're the person that does not know how to start or afraid to make your own sounds and put it in your own music, that's okay. Start with something small. Like, I used to only start with little plucks, oh, I made this pretty cool pluck, and I would put it in my song, and then the rest would be loops. And then gradually I would put more and more samples, that I made, into my music, and it just got better and better and better. And eventually, my music now is 70% all made, because I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to tell you not to use samples, because there's sometimes I'll make a whole song, and I will be going through a sample library from 2010, 2009, and I'll be like, dang, this sample sounds good, and I'll put it on the intro or the middle part of my song, and I'll be like, this is what it was missing, and I won't EQ it or anything, and the song sounds great. You will have times like that. You will have a time where you just throw a sample on and it sounds amazing, and you'll be like, the song is amazing. And it doesn't mean it's not you. You wrote half of the song yourself. You put it in a certain sequence that is going to be different from anyone else. Yeah, I'm not telling you not to use samples. I use samples all the time. I cut them up. I also want to talk about experimentation in making sounds. You're not going to be good at it. I'm still not the best at it, but I can make sounds that I like and that I'm into. And I'm finally in my music. It took me 10 years to finally make my own sound. when I listen to my music, I'm like, this is different. This is me. This is my sound. It doesn't sound like anyone else. And I know there's people out there that want to make dubstep like Skrillex or Barely Alive or whoever, but that's cool. Like, make music like that. That's probably how you're going to start learning. Like, oh, I want to make music like Skrillex. And you start making music like Skrillex, and then you're eventually like, I'm kind of bored with this. I want to adventure off and do something else. And then you'll start creating your own sound. That's kind of what happened to me. I was like, I want to make dubstep. And to tell you the truth, I suck at making that genre. Like, I tried to make it. Like, I tried so hard to make dubstep. I suck at it. I don't know why. And then I found trap, and now I'm making this weird robotic sci-fi space trap music that I really enjoy making and making the sounds for it, and it just is helping, and I love it. It's awesome. So I want to show you a little example of a sound that I made, and it's not very technical. It just sounds cool. Let's jump into Bitwig. All right, there's a lot of parts going on right here because this is how I make sounds. I'll make a sound in a synth, and then I will put it in different parts like highs, mids, lows, and then I'll add some sub, bounce down all into one audio clip, and that audio clip will be right here. The reason I do that is because it's better for me to like mix and EQ this different parts of the sound. So that's the reason I do that. But anyways, let's mute that, and I'll show you this preset that I made in the grid. Love the grid. So it's nothing. Sine wave, sawtooth, and swarm. And then mixed, I turned down the sub a lot and the sawtooth, and then the main sound you're hearing is the swarm, and it has ADSR, and nothing is happening. It's really just one note. It sounds like this. Sounds cool, really cool. Added some shaper box to it. The volume, all I did was I went to Rhythm 1 and I picked this rhythmic pattern, and I got it to sound like this. And it doesn't sound cool at all. The main thing to get your sounds to sound cool is probably going to be the effects. You can make the sound in like Serum sound really, really cool, but the effects is going to make the sound evolve even more. So anyways, I made this sound, and I was like, okay, bounced it down, have the rhythm. This is the original sound. I put some EQ, saturator, and then some a chain that I made that I put on a lot of my sounds. It's called the Nick Sci-Fi Effects, and it just has simple stuff like flanger, phaser, delay 2, reverb, filter, compressor, and another EQ. It just has all that stuff on it. I made these little macros right here so I could mess with the mixes on those devices, and that helps too. Making devices helps a lot. Maybe I'll make a video about devices, but it's really awesome. So I got this sound from these effects, and it sounds like wild. I know it sounds so wild. It sounds really cool though. I really liked it. I have a lot of stuff going on, so my CPU is really tripping. Look at it. So just bear with me. So anyways, yeah, I added that little drum loop, and I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. So then I started duplicating the sound, and then adding like the mids. I added some distortion, and I put these mids in there, and then I added some highs. Just I widen the sound a lot. I put Sidewinder on it. That's the tool I like to use to widen my sounds. It's a really cool tool. And then I was like, it's kind of missing something, so let's make something else. So what I did was I was like, okay, let's make another sound. So what I did was just duplicate the sound. I messed with a couple things. I kept the swarm, kept the sine wave, added pulse. Messed with this pulse, made this sound. Sounds pretty cool. Really like it. I turned off the shaper box. This is just a straight up one note. Sounds like nothing. Shit. Terrible. Shitty sound. And I was like, okay, I can do something with this. This is original sound. I put some effects on it. Put pretty much the same effects. EQ'd it a little differently, but not much. Pretty much the same effects. Press play. Oh, it does have the shaper box on it, so I'll turn the shaper box off. And you can hear the side chain, ding, ding. So what I did was I added some effects. I lowered the sound 2 octaves, so -24 is the pitch, because if you have it at the normal, it's just really eerie and high-pitched. Sounds stupid. So, yeah, you just don't want to sound stupid. You make stupid sounds, I guess. But anyways, yeah, I did the same thing, put effects on it, duplicated it, and then did my mids, my highs, and I added a sub. And so I was like, you know what? I feel like we could do something else with that. So I added the volume shaper, and then if I press play, you'll hear this. Sounds cool. Then I rendered it down. I got this right here. And I added guitar rig. I had turned guitar rig off because it was making my CPU like trip really, really bad. I use these effects in guitar rig to get this sound. Added a lot. It's really distorted and nasty sounding, and it just sounds good. It's like, din, 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 din. It just sounds so cool. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. So then I layered these sounds together, and I was like, this sounds really, really good. And then you're probably like, well, I don't really make dubstep. Well, I don't like making dubstep either. I just made this example. But you could also just change out the drums, like switch the drums to some trap drums. I put some 808s in here, so I really don't need this low sub sound right there. And yeah, I don't need that low sub sound, and that's already cutting the sub off. So then you get something like this. It sounds kind of similar, but the drums change it up a lot to more of my liking. And it probably needs EQ'd and mixed way better. But yeah, that's how I usually like start making sounds. I just find unique, I guess, tones, and then I turn it into something completely different. And you should too. That's why you should make your own sounds. Hopefully this helped. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, give me a like, subscribe, hit the bell for get notified for new videos coming up. A lot of stuff coming out, new videos. I'm working on another sample pack. I got another song coming out in this month. Every month there's a song coming out. But yeah, I hope this helped. I hope you liked my little rant, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace. Bye.